Hi, I'm Zach.
Nice to meet you, Zach.
You too. How did you get into dog mushing?
I guess I was kind of lucky in a way because I was born into it. So my dad had dogs from when I was pretty little. My grandpa had dogs from when my dad was only 4 years old. So I was kind of born into it. So in some ways, there was no choice about being involved with dogs. But as I got older, there was the choice to continue being with dogs. So that is a choice that I made. You know, my brothers no longer have sled dogs or anything. They're busy and happy doing other stuff. But I took to it and I decided that that's what I wanted to do for my adult life, not just my childhood.
Cool. Okay. What do you like to do when you are not busy with the dogs?
Oh man, I guess that's a tough question because I spend almost all my time busy with dogs. But I have a daughter that's 10 years old and I love doing things with her. She loves being outside and being in Alaska, and I think we all enjoy the outdoors and fishing and just camping. We don't really have to be doing anything. But I guess my main hobby would be doing any sort of activity with my daughter. And then secondly, just around the farm here, there's lots to do. So I have chickens and pigs and bees, and I like growing things and raising things. So working in the garden, I enjoy doing that stuff.
All right. How do you keep dogs in shape for the Iditarod?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to word it. First of all, keep dogs in shape. These are very athletic dogs. They love to run. It's what they were bred to do. And if you have any sort of working dog, I think that was bred for a job, the best thing you can do for that dog is let them do what they were designed to do. So they are always in great shape. In the summertime, I'm lucky because I have a very big refrigerated treadmill, so they exercise in that when it's too warm outside to do a lot. We have the huge run pen out there. It's about 2 acres fenced in. So a lot of times we'll have many of the dogs, especially the young ones that aren't old enough to be in a harness yet, just loose running in there. How their houses are designed, they have a lot of room to move back and forth on their tethers, like the zip line system. But obviously the fun way is mushing. That's what we like doing with them. So in the fall when it's cold but we don't have snow yet, we run them in front of the four-wheelers or a side-by-side. Of course, we're driving the vehicle, so they're not having to pull it all by themselves, but going at the right speed for them. And then the fun stuff really happens in beginning in November when we have snow and we can finally be on sleds. Cool.
What is the hardest part about running the Iditarod?
Ooh, probably the hardest part physically is the sleep deprivation. Just being that tired. And it's a sort of tired unlike I've experienced anywhere else where it is physically painful, especially when you do get a short nap, maybe only 40 minutes or something, and your body instantly goes into that deep sleep. And then from my perspective, my experience is you close your eyes and you're asleep, and literally the next second your alarm goes on. That 40 minutes goes by so fast. And so that second when you have to make the decision that this is important, and pry yourself out of your sleeping bag or off the floor that you just crashed on. That's probably the physically most painful, most acute, difficult portion. But then just the long-term nature of it, where we are physically tired and depleted, and you're running up every hill, and every hill you have to make that decision. Again, this is worth it, and my legs feel like complete jello. But I know that getting my body weight off the sled and helping the team. We have to do it for the team, and so I think that's a difficult thing, different than other sports. It's a long, slow process rather than really intense for a few seconds. Cool.
How many dogs do you have?
Well, it varies, of course, because in 1 week earlier this year we had 3 mothers had puppies. And between the 3 mothers, there's 25 puppies, so instantly the yard balloons, right? So we're always finding homes for the dogs as they get older. Some of the dogs, when they're 2 to 4 years old, if they're not quite at the super high level that we're looking for, we're going to try to find a kennel where they can be one of the best 5 dogs in that kennel. The dogs all love mushing. It's just making sure that they're mushing at the right level. Mushing in a team that they can be one of the best dogs and feel successful, rather than trying to run in a team where they're always going to be the bottom dog. So we do sell some dogs retire, puppies are born. Some of the really, if there's a really small puppy like a runt or something, Actually, I have a gentleman coming out here soon that's going to take one for a ski joring dog, because that's the size they like, because it can live in the apartment, but it's athletic enough to go run 30 miles in the backcountry. So to answer your question, though, it's always about 100 dogs, plus or minus. And to work with them, living here, I think we have 6 people that live here. And so you can have a lot of dogs, but it's very important to keep the ratio of people working with the dogs and dogs in check, right? You don't want to have 100 dogs with one person. Maybe 12 to 15 dogs per person is about as high as you want to go.
Okay. How do you take care of all those dogs?
Well, I guess we can answer part of that just now, but yeah, it takes a lot of people, but not just anybody. They have to be committed as well. So when I think of the dogs, I feel like I'm responsible for 100 dogs and the people that take care of them. But I can't take care of that many dogs by myself. I have to have good people that are passionate about working around dogs. They're not doing it because they get paid lots of money. They're doing it because they love the lifestyle. So it's not just me getting to live this lifestyle with dogs. It's me and everybody else involved with this. And it really does take a village to take care of that many dogs. And I think the dogs help keep the people balanced, and the people help keep the dogs healthy and happy.
What happens to the retired dogs after they can't run anymore?
So there's some that will be here forever, like Beetle, laying on the couch right there playing with his chew toy, or Dot, who's outside, taking his pee break. So some of them will be here forever because I'm too attached to them, quite frankly. But when you have this many, you do have to get good at being able to adopt them out and let them have a great life, somewhere else. And that's the most important thing, is that they're going to have a full, good life. So we do have a good network of people that have adopted dogs before. Many of them are people that were working here, and they got really attached to a dog, and they say, okay, when Candle retires, I want her to come live with me, right? So many of the dogs get adopted by people who are working with them during their racing career.
Are you planning on to beat your dad's record fastest at the Iditarod finish?
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. My dad's record is at 8 days, 3 hours, and some odd minutes. That was on an alternate route. I love to give him crap about this because he's obviously has the record. He broke my record from before. That was on a little bit of an alternate route, which was maybe a little bit easier. He had a phenomenal dog team, though. We finished second that year, and I felt like I had a really good team, and he beat me by 3 hours or something. So I think this would be a good year to beat his record, though, because again, we're on an alternate route that's a little bit shorter. So I think there's a good chance. If we have good weather, I think there's a chance we could beat his record this year. But I'm just hoping to have a good run with the team and get them to the finish as quick as possible. And if that turns out to be a record breaker, that would be great. If not, I'm not going to be disappointed if I feel like the team was set up to succeed and they did their best.
Okay. What words of advice would you give to someone considering learning to mush?
I would say that mushing is a really fulfilling sport. It's something that you get to be outside, and if this is what you like to do, being outside and working with animals, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel like I'm able to continue to improve as a person and doing what I'm passionate about. But one thing that can happen in mushing is the idea is that often you need to start getting involved with races and other things. And I would just say, assess at what level of mushing is it fulfilling for you. Because sometimes people really enjoy mushing recreationally, just having 10 dogs, and then when they start racing, it actually becomes less enjoyable because it adds that stress. But they feel like they should because that's the next step to become a better musher. You don't have to do any races ever in your life to be a phenomenal dog musher. Mushing is about being good with a dog team. It's about being a good animal person and caring for that team. And whatever your goals are can vary. It's about doing those things successfully and well. So just, I would say, look at it. First of all, make sure that you're in a position to responsibly own however many dogs and take care of those dogs for their entirety of their life. And then make sure that what you're doing with the team is, fulfilling for you and the dogs and something you can all do well. It's more fun to do a small thing well than a big thing in a disastrous way.
Okay. It's great to meet you.
Thanks, Zach.